Okay. Uh, Good morning, all. So we are bigdatahandson.com. Our website bigdatahandson.com. Today is our third day. We will see probability and the probability distributions. So our yesterday and previous day videos will be found in the Meetup uploads, the Meetup videos tab, or else if you subscribe our channel name is bigdatahandsome.com. I think that's not coming. It is loading too much. Okay. uh, so if you subscribe our channel, you will get all the videos. So these are these two videos, yesterday and the previous day videos. You can see this. Okay. So we are planning today 3 days. uh, we are having statistics and probability, and after that we'll have Python videos on 10 days, day 4 to day 14, I think. Day 14, day 4 to day 14, we have Python class, and then we have machine learning videos on 29, day 14 to day 15 to day 29, and day 30 to day 40, that will be uh, deep learning, and then 2 days 41 and 42 are natural language processing, and then the last 43 to 50 we will have reinforcement learning. So today we will cover probability and statistics. The last video, uh, that will be probability and the probability distributions. Okay. So what do you know about probability? So probability, it's very simple. So the chances while the event will happen. So let's say I'm tossing a coin. So it has two possible outcomes. So the possible outcomes will, you can say, as the set S is the number of events. Okay. Possible events. S is what? S is, yes, yes is the set. Set will be the possible outcomes. Okay. Possible outcomes, let's say I am tossing a coin. The possible outcomes will be tail or head, right? Tail or head. That is our set here. Okay. This is the possible outcomes. So how do you calculate the probability of getting head? So it is very simple. Probability of getting head is okay, probability of getting head is equal to uh, the head, uh, how in the set, what's the how many times the head is occurring? One time. So 1 divided by the number of outcomes will be 2. So that is the probability here. So 0.5 is the probability of getting head. In the same way, the probability of getting tail also will be 0.5. Okay. This is a simple one, the probability to get understand. And the second point is, while rolling a dice with 6 faces, what is the probability of getting one? Will be like, while rolling a dice, we will have 6 possible outcomes. So now the set will be 6, because we can, in the dice we have 6 possible outcomes. One is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So that will be number of events. So what is the probability of getting one? So one is available in the set is only one time. So 1 divided by number of events will be 6. So our probability will be 0.166. So that's a simple formula to calculate the probability. So we get to know about the probability. Now we'll move on to the conditional probability. So what is the conditional probability? So conditional probability is simply like what is the probability with respect to this event. So with respect to means let's say probability of queen that is a spade. Okay, so we have two conditions here. So that should be a queen and that should be a spade. So we have two conditions, that will be conditional probability here. Okay, so the question is what is the probability of getting a queen given that the card is spade? That is the conditional probability here. So in the cards we have 52 cards. In the 52 cards we have 13 spade cards. Okay, right? Okay, so and in the spade card, in the 13 spades cards, only one will be the queen and spade. Okay, so the equation will look like this: probability of queen bar spade equal to probability of queen and spade. So that will be only one card is available, that is queen and spade, divided by probability of spade. The probability of spade cards are 13, I said before. Okay, so now 1 by 15 is the probability of queen and spade, and 13 by 15 is the probability of spade. So if you divide it, you will get 1 by 13 because 52 will be cancelled. So 1 by 13 the probability is 0.077. Okay, so this is the probability of getting a queen given that the card is spade. Okay, so this is a simple conditional probability. So it explain this conditional probability more because it is very important one on the conditional probability, because in the machine learning series we have one algorithm called naive bayes. In there it will using the conditional probability only. Okay, so or you can say Bayesian theorem, it is derived from this conditional probability. Okay, so we'll see that. So for example of another example of conditional probability, let's say this table, let's take this table. So in this table we have teacher, student. So this teacher and student can be two gender, one be female and male. Okay, so it's saying teacher, that is female. There are 8 teachers, that is female, and 12 teachers, they are male, and 32 students female and 48 students male. Okay, so total we have, total teachers we have 20, total students 80 students. Okay, in that total female we have 40, total male we have 60. Okay, so the question is the probability of teacher when he is male. Okay, so this is the conditional here. So what we will do, so in the previous slide what we have done, queen and spade, probability of queen and spade divided by probability of spade. That means we need to know the probability of teacher and male divided by probability of male. That will be our probability of teacher bar male. Okay, so first we want teacher and male. So how many teachers that are male? 12. Okay, 12 teacher male and divided by probability of male. Total number of males will be 60. So our probability will be 12 by 60. So 0.2. That is the probability of teacher when he is male. Okay, so this is the equation. It can be a by b or b by a, or else we can say teacher bar male or male bar teacher. So if that change, a and b if change, this equation in the denominator will be changed. Okay, so if you say probability of a bar b, that would be probability of a and b divided by probability of b. And if the probability of b bar a, that would be probability of a and b divided by probability of a. Okay, not b. Okay, okay, so now the Bayesian rule. So this is the important one because we use for this machine learning purpose. This is the Bayesian rule. Will derive from this. Okay. So first we need to know about the Bayesian rule. So Bayesian rule is nothing but a way to go from p of x bar y to find p of y bar x. What it does mean? So usually in some cases in the machine learning problems, what we'll do, we are given a data set. Let's say we want to predict the outcome. Okay, so you want to predict the outcome. So here in the first equation, u of x bar y, it is evidence given outcome. Okay, that will be we are given the outcome. We are having the outcome. So no from training data. That would be means in the initial time we will be training on the data set that is given. The outcome itself we will give for the algorithm. Okay, so that would be p of x bar y. But here in the p of y bar x, it is not that case, because it is predicting the uh, outcome. Okay, p of outcome bar evidence. So in the test case, so to predict that the for the test data, it means we only are having evidences, that is the our data. Okay, so we want to predict the outcome for this data. So that time we use this equation p of y bar x. This known, this is to predict. Okay, now the Bayesian rule is p of y bar x is equal to p of x bar y multiplied by p of y divided by probability of x. Okay, this is the final equation for Bayesian rule. Okay, so before going to the permutation and combination, we'll see in the probability one thing we need to see, that is combinatories. Combinatories are nothing but the opposite of this probability. Let's say what is the probability of getting head? It's 0.5, right? 0.5. If I ask you what's the probability of tail, that is also 0.5. So but there is a way of calculating the opposite side of the probability. So that means what is let's say I'm asking you one question: what is the probability of not getting head? Okay, so that is the combinatory. What is the probability of not getting head? Okay, so I'm asking you what's the probability of not getting head. That means what we'll do, first we will calculate the probability of head. So that is probability of head will be 0.5. We know that probability of head equal to 0.5. So I am asking you what is the probability of not getting head. That would be uh, not getting head means, let's say p dash of h. Let's say, okay, p dash of h equal to, we can easily calculate, that is 1 minus p of h. That is combinatory. That means uh, not getting hint means, so all the probability will lie on 0 to 1 only. So we know that probability will be 0 to 1. So we are just subtracting one, the probability of head to the 1. So we'll get the combinatory. That means probability of head is 0.5. Not getting head means 1 minus 0.5. 1 minus 0.5, right? That also 0.5. That will be the probability of tail, right? Not getting head means only the option we have tail only. So not getting head means probability of the tail. Okay, we can say the probability of tail is equal to probability of not getting head, right? Not getting head means probability of p dash of h. It is equal to probability of tail, it is equal to probability of not getting head. So and one more thing, if you find the combinatory of not getting head, that will be a probability of head. So I'm little confusing you. Like probability of not getting head is 0.5. So I'm asking that probability of not getting head and another combinatory. So probability of uh, p dash h of dash is equal to p of h. Okay, the same result we will get. That means let's say a dash of dash is equal to a. Okay, there is a equation to calculate the combinatory. So every probability will have the combinatory, so we don't know that, but it is having the combinatory. That means let's say a is the probability, a plus a combinatory is the set we have, what we have. Yes. Okay, or you can say 1. So 1 is the probability, no? So a plus a bar is the 1. A plus a bar is equal to 1. From there only we derived a bar. A bar is equal to, that is a combinatory, that is equal to 1 minus probability of a. Okay, this is the equation for combinatory. Okay, so now we'll move on to the permutations and combinations. So permutations and combination, the various, it means the various ways in which object from a set. So set we know the possible outcomes. Okay, so which object from a set may be selected, generally without a replacement, to form subsets. The selection of subset is called permutation when the order is of selection is a factor, combination when the order is not a factor. So I will explain you what it is. Um, it is like combinations mean permutations and combinations is like let's say uh, we are having two coins. Okay, two coins we are tossing. So what are the uh, results we can get? So two heads we can get, right? Two heads we can get, and one tail and one head we can get, and one head, one tail we can get, and two tails we can get. These are the possible set of outcomes. So in this set of outcomes, the various ways in which the objects set of may be selected, generally without replacement. And one more thing, in the permutations and combination, it will not allow the repeated words. That means h will not allow, t will not allow in the permutations and combinations. So, and what is the difference between permutations and combinations? So permutations when the order of selection is a factor, that means it can have th or ht. Okay, that is not matters in the permutations, but in the combination it matters. So we are already having th, no? So why we are having ht only? So it will remove the ht. So only we will having th only. That will be the combination. But in the permutation, it is allowed to have multiple times. That means the order will be changed, only the order will be changed. Okay, so for the equation of permutation, let's say uh, I'm rolling a two dice. Okay, rolling a two dice. So what is will be the permutation? Okay, 6 and 2, or else we can say we are having six numbers. In the six numbers only the outcome will be 2. Okay, two outcomes we need to come. And what is the permutations? We can have 1 2 2 1, or 2 3 3 1 3 2. So there are various okay, various ways we can get. Now for calculating the permutation, so it is denoted by like this p62. Okay, it will be the number of items in the set, and this will be the output. Okay, now the formula is n factorial divided by n is nothing but the 6, and k is will be 2. Okay, n factorial divided by k minus n factorial, sorry, k minus n factorial. It's the equation for permutations. For combinations, say same thing like 6 2 here. For combination, the equation is n factorial divided by k factorial into k minus n factorial. So this term, the k factorial, is added because to remove the this one like th, that is doesn't matter ht. So when you have the order is a factor, sorry, order is not a factor, then we'll need to choose the combination. So when the order is the factor, we need to choose the permutation. So how can we calculate the permutations and combinations in Python? So it is very simple. So I will just connect first. From the iter tools library, no, we can get the permutations function. This function will help you to calculate the permutation. Okay, so permutations of what I am giving, a list of 5 numbers. Okay, this will be our set. Okay, from this set our output will be 2. We are just picking 2 values only. Okay, and then it will calculate the permutations, and these are the permutations from the sets. So we will having 1 2 1 3 1 4 1 5 2 1. Let's see here, if you see 1 2 will coming and 2 1 also is coming. When the order is a factor, then it will be like this. In the permutations it allows. Okay, but in the combinations it will not allow. It will remove this because we are already having 1 2. Then why we need 2 1? So that's the concept of the combinations. Okay, so now in the permutations what we are having, we are having 5 values. The output will be 2. So let's calculate the permutations. And so we know the formula is n factorial. N factorial means number of items, that is 5. 5 factorial divided by k minus n factorial. K is 2 here. 2 minus 5 factorial. Okay, that will be 5 factorial means 1 2 3 4 5 divided by 3 factorial means 1 2 3. So in last we will get 4 and 5. So I will show you how this is. 5 factorial means 1 2 1 cross 2 cross 3 cross 4 cross 5. Okay, divided by 2 minus 5 will be 3. 3 factorial means 1 2 3 again. 1 2 3, right? So in the division we can just cancel these 3 items, then we'll get 4 cross 5. So 4 cross 5 will be 20. So if you count here, we will having 20 outcomes. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20, right? Correct. So that the permutations will be 20. Okay, so now clear how we are calculating the permutations. Okay, so now we'll see for the uh, combinations. Okay, so to calculate again, we use the iter tools permutations function, just to call the permutation functions and give the list set of values. Again, I think okay. So now I think we can give a string also. I think maybe let's try that. Let's give something hello world. Okay, let's try. Yeah, it is coming. So space coming without space. Okay, so for the words also it is working. Letters, sorry. Okay, so this is the permutations. Now we will go to the combinations. So combinations can be found in the same tool, iter tools. From iter tools, import the combinations and then call the functions. Same, give the set and the number of outcome that is true, 2 here. So let's calculate the combination. All right. So again, we know the equation for combination. It is n factorial. So n here is 5, 5 factorial divided by k factorial, that is 2 here, 2 factorial into k minus n factorial. K here is 2 and minus n is 5 and whole factorial. Okay. So again 5 factorial is 1 2 3 4 5, and divided by 2 factorial. So 2 factorial is 1 cross 2 and 2 minus 5 factorial is 1 cross 2 cross 3, right? So now what we can do, we just cancel, sorry, not 5 here. That's the pencil. So 3 here. So we can cancel this 1 2 3, then numerator and denominator. Okay. So now we will get remaining is 4 cross 5, 20, and in the denominator we have 2. So 20 divided by 2 is equal to 10. All right. So again, if you count these values, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, okay, 10 values. So if you observe these values, it is not allowing the values like 1 comma 2. It is not allowing the 2 comma 1 because the combination, the order is the matter. Okay. So it understands like 1 comma 2 is equal to 2 comma 1, then why we need the 2 comma 1, right? So that is the concept of these combinations. Or else if you want another example, let's take the IPL match. Okay, so let's take this example. Three teams need to uh, play, okay, in the let's say some match. So let's say Hyderabad and Mumbai Indians and Chennai Super Kings. Okay, so if the match from between three three teams, then the permutations will be HM, right? HC. The same way MH, MC, CH, CM. So this is the permutations, but the combination is we know that the Hyderabad and Mumbai Indians already played, then why we need again the match? So, okay, again why we need to play? So the combination is comes here, right? So Hyderabad and Mumbai already played, and now we need to play with Hyderabad and Chennai, and Mumbai and Hyderabad already played, so we don't need that. And again Mumbai and Chennai Super Kings. Okay, so again, so CH already played, CM already played. Okay, this will be the combinations. Okay, understand? Because these two matches, this match already done, so we don't need again. Okay, so now we'll go to the next concept, probability distributions. So probability distributions means the data we are getting will find the distributions for the probabilities. In probabilities we have various type of distribution for discrete variable and continuous variables. Okay, so we have two types, no, data types, discrete and continuous. For two types, in the probability distribution we have different types of distributions. So first we will see for what discrete distribution. Discrete distribution means we'll only having categorical type of variables, no. So in the categorical type of variables like this, so let's say I'm rolling a dice. Okay, I'm rolling a dice, so the results is our classes. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6, that is our classes. So for that classes we are plotting a distribution. So the one type is uniform distributions. So this all distribution is based on the probability only. Okay, not the data, only the probabilities only we will plot these graphs. Okay, uniform distributions is a rectangular distribution is called. Why it is rectangular distribution is because the example I'm telling, no, the rolling a dice. So for rolling a dice, every event has the same possible, sorry, same probability. For tossing the coin also, it has the same probability, right? So for 6 events we have same probability, 1 by 6. So to plot this we have uniform distribution. So it's a probability distribution that has constant probability. So every events has the same probability, that is uniform distribution. Okay, so to plot the uniform distribution in the Python, it's very simple. So I'm just importing these three libraries. So I will explain you. This library in NumPy is to generate the uniform distribution data, and Seaborn and Matplotlib, these two libraries is used to visualize the data. Okay, understand? Now we are creating the uniform distribution data with using the NumPy library. So it is very simple, np.random.uniform function. So these uniform functions will help you to create the uniform type of distribution data. And I'm giving the size as 1000. Okay, so it will create 1000 data for us. Okay, and then we are visualizing it, we using the SNS dot dist plot. Okay, we are giving the data, this is the uniform data, no. So I'm putting ist equal to false is because if I remove this, it will show the uh, bars. It will show the bars here like this. So that's why I just removed the bars, ist equal to false. Okay, so it's just a size of 1000. That means it is calculating the 1000 times it is doing. So this for the uniform function is for generating the uniform distribution data. Okay, now we'll see another distribution, Bernoulli distribution. So Bernoulli distribution is a discrete probability distribution. So it has only two possible outcomes. success or failure. Or we can say in coin tossing we have two outcomes, head or tail. So when you have two outcomes, so for a Bernoulli trial, a random experiment that has only two outcomes, okay, usually called a success or a failure. For example, the probability of getting a heads is a success, and probability of getting tail is failure. So for the probability of flipping a coin is 0.5. Okay, the probability of failure is 1 minus p. We know that, okay, the complementary 1 minus p is 1 minus 0.5. That also the same 0.5. Okay, so now again here 0 is our failure and 1 is our success. Okay, Bernoulli distribution for probability 0.4. So when you have 0.4 probability, the distribution is like this. uh, I think for Bernoulli we don't have. Again, this based on this Bernoulli we have another distribution, binomial is called. So in the binomial distribution we can plot, we'll having the function for generating the binomial distribution data. So in the binomial distribution, uh, it's based on the Bernoulli distribution. So what we are having is, let's say I am tossing at two coins. We know that the set will be, what is the set will be? Tossing at two coins, we can get head, right? We can get head tail, and tail, right? This is the set for the tossing two coins. So now using this binomial distribution, what we can do is simply the probability of success or failure. That means, let's say I need to find the probability of getting head. Okay, so using this set, what we'll do, we'll count the head. So how many times we are getting head here? 2. So 2 bar 4 is the probability here for this. And then here we are having only one head, so the probability is 1 by 4. And then again, probability of getting one head, the same, 1 by 4. And probability of getting head here, that is 0. Okay, so this thing it is plotted here. So it is example for three coins. So because 8 is here, no, 8 means three coins, when you toss we'll get uh, 8 outcomes. So we are having only two coins tossing, only we'll get four outcomes. So this thing it is plotted in the binomial distribution. That means how many times 2 is coming? Only one time. So here in the three tossing three coins, we can get 3 by 8. That means three times we are getting 2, and one time we are getting 0, and three times we are getting 1, and one time we are getting 3. So here two times we are getting, sorry, one times we are getting two heads, two times we are getting one heads, and one time we are getting 0 heads. Okay, right? So this way the binomial distribution is plotted. Okay, so now we see for binomial distribution, the plot is this one. Okay, so binomial, to create the binomial distribution data, so np dot random dot binomial, and n is the set, so number of events, and the probability is 0.25. Let's say our n is 8. So I'm plotting this example here, and the probability that for each and everything, that will be 1 by 8. 1 by 8 is what, 10, let's say 0.12, not 2, 1 by 8. So because 1 is the possible outcome, divided by 8 is the number of events, the probability is 1 to 5. 1 to 5. Size, I will just say 4 or 3. I think we can say 4, I think. Okay, this is the graph for this. Number of events 8, probability is 0.125, and the size is 4. So it is giving like this. Means I think 1 is getting 3 times, but 2 also needs to get 3 times, no? Okay, wait. Okay, now the Poisson distribution. So it is very useful distribution, Poisson distribution, because it helps you to predict the probability of certain events from happening when you know how often the event has occurred. So we know the previous one, so how the event is occurred, and then we will predict how can it occurs, how can it occur. So the example this, let's say I'm walking 12 minutes, sorry, 1 meter in 12 minutes. Okay, I can walk 1 meter in 12 minutes. I'm walking 60 minutes. Okay, so how many meters I can walk? 5 meters I can walk, right? We just simply we can know, uh, like the same way. So I want to predict the future, means I want to walk 3 meters in 1 hour. What is the probability? Okay, so I have already told this, like I can walk 1 meter in 12 minutes. I'm walking 60 minutes. So uh, how far I'm going? 5 meters. Okay, so now I'm going to predict the probability of going 3 meters in 1 hour. So the chance is 14%. To calculate this, it is e power minus 5, and 5 cube divided by 3 factorial. Okay, this 5 we already know. 5 is here, 5 meters I can walk. Okay, so now e power minus 5 and 5 cube divided by 3 factorial, which is will be given the chance of uh, walking 3 meters in 1 hour. So this plot is for the uh, Poisson distribution. It is given here. Okay, so here if you see the chance of walking 3 meters in 1 hour, that is 0.14. Walking 4 meters in 1 hour, 0.18. So chance is getting lesser than we expect, like. Okay, so for the Poisson distribution, you can just simply say np dot random. All the distribution can be found in the random module. Just simple random dot sample, sorry, np dot random dot python. Okay, and the lamb and the size we need to give. So lamb is nothing but our we are giving here, no, 5. We are using the 5. This is a lamb here. I'm using the same 5 here. For 10 it is giving me like this. Okay, I'm just plotting using the dist plot, and hist equal to false. The distribution is this. Okay, now uh, these all distributions is for discrete distribution, uniform distribution, Bernoulli distribution, binomial, and Poisson. These are is for discrete distribution. Now we'll see for the continuous type of data. Okay, for continuous type of data, the distribution is very simple, normal distribution. So we already seen this normal distribution in the yesterday and previous day I think yesterday's video. So the normal distribution is simply also known as the Gaussian distribution, is a probability distribution that is symmetric about the mean. Okay, so the mean will be on the middle, showing that the area data near the mean are more frequent in occurrence than data far from the mean. In graph form, normal distribution will appear as a bell curve like this. Okay, mu is our mean, sigma squared is our standard deviation. Okay, so if you give the mean and standard deviation, it will give the normal distribution plot. So the same way we can create the normal distribution using the np dot random dot normal. So log is our mean and scale is our standard deviation. So size is 30. If you give, it will create a distribution. And just it is without given the mean and the standard deviation. Defaultly it will put mean as 0 and standard deviation as 1. Okay, and this is also another example for this. Log 1 scale 0.5. That means mean equal to 1 and standard deviation is 0.5. Okay, so now again then we have exponential distribution. So exponential distribution is the plot that will show you the uh, exponentially it is growing or coming down here. Like in probability theory and statistics, the exponential distribution is the probability distribution of the time between events in a Poisson point process, a process in which events occur continuously and independently at a constant average rate. So it has the average rate, it is just continuously decreasing. It is the exponential distribution. Okay, and it is a particular case of the gamma distribution. So gamma is where the number is starting, I think. So from this, it is just decreasing in average rate. Okay. So for exponentially distribution, we can say random dot normal dot random dot exponential. Size of 100 is giving me like this. So exponentially, it is okay. I think that's it. And another type of distribution we have, empirical cumulative distribution function. It helps you to analyze the data. So what it will do, it will put all the data is into one particular range 0 to 1 and showing where the most of the data are lying. So it is helpful for that. I will show you using this data. Okay, it's just a process for connecting Google Drive. So just go to the link and select the account. It will give you the authorization code. Just paste it here. Then it will connect for Google Drive, and then you can access the data from the Google Drive. Sorry, not here. I think. I think I don't have a. Okay. Yeah, here. We got the data, and then we'll plot the ECDF. So before plotting the ECDF, let's see the plot for distribution for age column in the data set. So this is the distribution for age column. Now we put this age column into the one particular range 0 to 1. There it will show you how often where the datas are lying. Most of the datas are lying. So it is just like this one ECTF 0 to 1 it is putting. Okay, so if I put for fair, so I think fair it will show you what is that. So it shows like the often the most of the datas are lying like here, one here. Okay, so the use of ECTF. Okay, so I think we can end up this session from this. Any doubts you have? Any doubts? Okay, I think we can end up this session. So we are bigdatahandson.com. Our website is bigdatahandson.com. So we have this is the third video, and this video will be uploaded in the YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is bigdatahandson.com. You subscribe to our channel, you will get the latest videos. Okay, I think from tomorrow we'll start uh, Python classes, I think. So these two videos are already previously taken. Okay, so from tomorrow we'll start Python. So see you tomorrow.